Good morning, and welcome to our lesson on stem and leaf graphs. Now, a stem and leaf graph is a type of graph where they arrange the 10 spot on the side, like so, like all of these numbers here, and then all the digits in the 1 spots are on the right side. So here's what this means. Our numbers are going to be 18 because of 1, 8, then 19 because of 1, 9, then 19 again because of 1, 9. So it takes care of that. The second row, 2, 0 means 20. 2, 0 again means 20 again. So that's why I wrote 20 twice. Then 2, 1, then 2, 4, and 2, 4, and so on. So I think everybody understands what that means. But let's say we had to create our own. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have 30 test scores, and we'd like to create a stem and leaf plot for all of them. Well, when you look at the scores, I see scores in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to start by creating our stem. So on the side, I'm going to write the number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm going to draw a line right next to it. And that is our stem. So now we're going to begin our leaves. And for this, I'm going to need to look for all the numbers that are in the 30s. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to circle all the numbers in the 30s. So we got 32, 37. So the only numbers I see are 32 and 37. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to do 2, then space, then 7. Okay, that's done. Okay, next what I like to do is look for all the numbers in the 40s. So we got 45, 46. No, I guess that's it. Okay, 45 and 46. Okay. Well, no problem. I will type in 5 space. Oh, what the heck happened there? Let's go back. 5 space 6. There we go. So that means 45 and 46. Very good. Okay, well, let's deal with all the numbers that are in the 50s. So there's 53. I guess that's it, 53. Well, that's an easy one. So next to the 5, I'm just going to write the number 3. Okay. All right, next what I like to do is look for all the numbers in the 60s. And there's quite a bit. They're all right here. So here's what I will type. I will type 0, then 5, then 7, then 7 again because 67 appeared twice, then 9. So the 60s are done. All right, let's do the 70s. There's lots of numbers in the 70s. Okay, well, we'll type them all in. So I see that the number 70 appears twice, so I will start with 2 zeros. Then 71 appeared twice, so I'll write 1 twice. There's no 72, but there is a 73, so I'll type a 3. No 74, no 75, but 76 appears 3 times, so 6, 6, 6. 77, no. 78, yes. And 79, yes. And the 70s are done. Okay, let's take a look at the 80s. There's quite a few for the 80s as well. So let's see what we have here. Anybody 80? No. There's no 81. There is an 82. There's an 83. There's an 84. There's no 85. There's no 86. But 87 appeared twice, so I have to mark that. There is an 88, and there's an 89. So the 80s are done. Now finally, let's do the 90s. It's not many for the 90s. There's 95 and then 96 twice, so 5 for 99, 6 and 6 for both the 96. And that's it. That is our stem and leaf. All right, sometimes you may encounter a stem and leaf that works on two sides. And you know what? It works the same way. So when I look at the first group, all right, so when I look at this, I see numbers that are in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, but watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it in the middle. So I'm going to write 3 for the 30s, 4 for 40s, 5 for 50s, 6 for 60s, 7 for 70s, 8 for 80s, and 9 for 90s. And then I'm going to write 2 lines. Okay, so I did the 2 lines here because we're going to have leaves on 2 sides. It doesn't matter who goes first because we got to do both. So let's do the AM first and look for all the numbers that are in the 30s. Well, the only number I see is 37. So for that, I am just going to type the number 7. All right. Well, let's look at all the numbers in the 40s. There's 41 and 44. All right, fair enough. What I will do is I will type 1 and 4. Okay, next I'm going to look for all the numbers in the 50s. I don't see any. So for the 5, I'm going to leave it blank on the left side. But there are numbers in the 60s. In fact, there's 0 and 5, 60 and 65, which I'll do that. Now the 70s. The 70s have a lot. Let's see. What do they have? They don't have 70. There's no 71. There's no 72. But 73 appeared 3 times. So 3, 3, 3. No 74, but 75 did appear 2 times. 76 also appeared 2 times. 77 also appeared 2 times. And 78 appeared once. So that will look something like this. All right, next to the 80s. There's not many for the 80s, but 84 appeared twice, so a couple of 4s, and then 88, so an 8. And then the 90s, 90s appeared, we have 90 and 99. So the AM side of the stem and leaf is complete. Let's do the PM side. When I look at this, I don't see any 30s and I don't see any 40s, but I do see a couple of 50s right here. So we'll start with that. So we got 0 and 6. And as you notice, I'm leaving the 30s and 40s blank. All right, 60s. We have numbers in the 60s. We got 63 and 66 appeared twice. All right, the 70s. Well, there's 72. There's 74. 77 appeared twice. And then 79. Looking good. 80s, a lot of numbers in the 80s. So we have, well, looks like we got 81, so 1. No 82, but 83 appeared twice. 84 appeared twice. No 85, 86, 87. There's an 87, and there's an 89. And then finally, the 90s. There's 90 and 91 and 99. And that's our double-sided, two-sided stem and leaf plot. Okay, so sometimes you could do charts as a Pareto chart or a pie chart. Pareto chart is just a histogram that goes in order from biggest to smallest. Like on the bottom left, you notice a bar graph. That is a Pareto because Spanish was the biggest, so that goes first. French is the second biggest, that goes second. Chinese and Arabic are the same size, so it doesn't matter who goes third or fourth. And then Russian is the smallest, so that one goes last. And pie chart is just a graph inside a circle. Let's see if we can make one. Okay, so we have cars. We have a total of 60 cars in a parking lot, and we'd like to create a Pareto chart. Well, because cars have the biggest frequency, that has to go first. So, let's see what we can do here. So at the bottom on the right, C for car, S for SUV, T for truck, and M for motorcycle. And on the side, let's see, maybe I'll do 30 here. Then halfway up is 15. Let me do 10 here. And 5 there. Okay. All right, so the first one is car, and that's 30. So I have to go all the way to the top, like so. Next is SUV, which only goes up to 15, so only halfway up. Next is truck, which only goes up to 9, so that's just a little less than 10. And then finally, we have motorcycle, which goes up to 6, which is just slightly bigger than 5. Okay. So our Pareto chart's complete. Now let's see if we can do a pie chart. Here's how I like to do a pie chart. One of the easiest ways to cut a circle up is to cut it into 4s. So each one is represented by 25%. Then what I like to do is I like to find the relative frequency. So for car, to get the relative frequency, I'm going to do 30 divided by 60, and that's equal to 0.50. For SUV, I would like to do 15 divide 60, which is equal to 0.25. For truck, I would like to do 9 divided by 60, which is equal to 0.15. Whoops. And then finally, for motorcycle, I would like to do 6 divide 60, which is equal to 0.10. All right. Like I said, all of this means each block on the circle means 25%. But notice car has a frequency of 0.50. Because it's 50, it's going to receive 2 parts. So all of this, I'm going to call it car. And I'll try to color it in. And that's the best I can do there. Okay. Next is SUV. Because SUV has a value of 0.25, that means it's going to receive one part. Here's SUV. Something like this. Okay. Now, the other two, truck and motorcycle, they are smaller than 25, but they add up to 25. What that means is they're going to share one of the last block. So notice I cut the block into two pieces. They're not equal. That's intentional because I want the smaller one to have motorcycle and the bigger one to have truck. And now we have a very good pie chart. Anyway, at this point, you should be able to answer questions 1 through 10 on 2.2, 2.3 homework. If you get stuck on anything else, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.